all about Sen's worm. Mila jumped in to share her side of the story. It is! I was actually there when he slayed the golden rockworm king. You should have seen this thing. It was bigger than most airships. Just imagine how big this guy could get. It started off the size of an inchworm, right? Knowing Mila already knew all about the worm, Sen knew he couldn't hide much from these two. With a tight smile, Sen nodded. It did, but I can't say it's very useful in this state. All it does is eat and get bigger. A cruel smile curled up on Priya's lips. Well, aren't you full of surprises? Who knew the star of Iron Defense Solutions was capable of taming a sacred blood pet? Maybe you're more than just a pretty face. Doing his best not to let Priya's words bother him, Sen tried to ignore her as he pushed another quilled ape toward the rockworm. If the worm could eat just a little faster, maybe Sen could get out of this hunting trip sooner. Seeing that she wasn't able to provoke Sen, Priya threw her head back and laughed. I have to be honest. I'm a little jealous of your pet. Wouldn't it be the best to have my own little wiggling guy? Is there any chance you would consider selling it to me? I promise I'll pay you handsomely for it. She smiled broadly, but Sen detected something off in her expression. Her smile didn't extend in her eyes. She was lying. But why? Sen wasn't sure, but it made him even more suspicious of the young woman. As if in answer to his question, her companion Rivera asked, Excuse me, Miss Arlo, but what do you need a beast so like this for? Have you seen how much this thing eats? Honestly, I don't even understand why you bothered to give him this much meat. It seems like a complete waste of Geno points. A flash of anger sparked in Priya's eyes before she gave Rivera a sickly smile. I understand that someone like you might think it's not worth my time, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. Some things in life require a lot of work and effort in order to bring out their true potential. Kind of like yourself, Paolo. Me? You've put a lot of effort into building me? Of course, Rivera. While I do care if you get plenty to eat, it's also to make sure you're a capable warrior. Now, do you think I'm wasting my time putting important resources towards you? No, ma'am. I do not. I hope you don't either. Of course, I think you're worth the effort. You're one of my finest warriors. As Rivera looked pleased with his resourcefulness, the corner of his mouth started to twitch. In the lawless world of God's sanctuary, Sen was fine with people trying to get what they wanted from others. However, Sen didn't like people who tried to mask their intention. To him, it was only with a bat of her lashes that Priya turned her sickly affection towards Sen. So, if Mr. Han would be so kind, I would still like to buy the Rockworm King. What is your offer? Watching as the Rockworm King slurped another quilled ape, sending a flurry of feathers into the air, Sen smirked. Of course I'd be willing to sell it, but I'm afraid it would have to be for a heavy price. You see, I've spent quite a bit of time and energy feeding this worm, so I wouldn't accept anything less than a trade. Instead of selling me a worm, I'd like us to exchange sacred blood beast souls. Could you swing that? That's unfortunate, as I'm also in desperate need of sacred blood beast souls. Are you sure you wouldn't part with it for Levo? I would buy it for 100 million. While Sen was tempted by the money, he knew that any money he took from Priya would have a much higher cost than what she let on. Trying his best to look resentful, Sen shook his head. I'm sorry, Ms. Harlow, but I can't do that. I've plenty of money, but I could always use another sacred blood beast soul. That's a pity, Priya said, the flash of anger appearing in her eyes once again. Looking away, Sen snorted. Priya hadn't been able to get the information she was looking for. As he pulled the rockworm away from its food, it made a slurping sound as it devoured its last quilled ape. With a laugh, Sen smirked. I think he's eaten enough. Are you all ready to take off? With a flash of her smile, Priya wrapped her arm around Mila's shoulder. Just lead the way and we'll follow, Sen. Sen looked up to the sky. While he had seen the black-winged quilled apes as they made their way through the desert, he hadn't seen a sign of them since they scattered across the desert. With a huff, Sen sighed. Let's try heading south fast. As they mounted their beasts, Sen barely got on his mount before Mila and Priya were shooting off across the desert. Praying that this would not be like the last time that Sen had traveled through Devil Desert with Mila, Sen kicked his heels and urged his mount after them. With a hot desert sun against their backs, the four set across the dunes, hunting down any beasts they came across. The entire time, Sen never had to raise a hand, as Rivera, Priya, and Mila slew everything that came in their path. Although Mila tried her hardest, she found herself struggling to keep up with Rivera and Priya as they reached every beast before her. Annoyed at the lack of kills, Mila huffed. "Can you save a couple of kills for me? There's plenty to go around." Rivera laughed as she looked back at Sen. "You need to be quicker than that." Ignoring Rivera, Sen shook his head. "I can see 2 mutant rock scorpions up ahead. Why don't you go after those?" "Come on, Priya," Mila shouted as she urged her white bear forward. For a moment, Priya hung back, waiting for what Sen would do, but he remained still, his eyes darting between Mila and the sky. "Are you going after them, Sen? Aren't you supposed to be her protector?" Raising an eyebrow, Sen frowned. "I'm her protector, not her personal hunter. She can handle it fine." "But what if something happens?" "You're welcome to join her." With a snort, Priya charged after Mila, with Rivera following hot on her trail. Sen shook his head. As they traveled through the desert, Sen continuously caught Priya staring at him like he was some beast in a zoo. Nearly everything he did, Priya wanted to know why he was doing it, and if she could do it too. The woman was suffocating him. The sooner they could finish this hunting trip, the better. As Mila approached the 2 scorpions, she pulled out her dagger, ready to strike. However, as she was about to leap off her mount and pounce on the 2 arrows dug into the soft joints of the scorpions. The 2 scorpions hissed before collapsing where they stood. Frowning, Mila turned to see Priya and Rivera lowering their bows. "That was supposed to be my kill." Glancing back at Sen to make sure he was watching, Rivera snorted. "Then maybe you should have been a bit faster." Playfully, Priya slapped Rivera's wrist. "Don't be rude. I already had one of them, so you should have left that last one for her." Even Sen was courteous enough to let Mila hunt all on her own. Mila waved to Sen in the distance. "Bring your worm. It can eat these 2 scorpions. They're massive. We'll never be able to take them back." Doing as he was told, Sen allowed his worm to eat the 2 scorpions. As the 4 of them watched the Rockworm King eat, Priya glanced at Sen. "I hear that Sen's battle mech skills are the best among the unevolved. It makes me wonder if his martial arts skills are just as good." Seeing Sen tense up, Priya smirked. She wanted to see just how strong Sen was. If this was the kind of guy that was being sent to protect a daughter of Rowan, he had to be something powerful. Rivera sneered. "With how good he is at battle mechs, he probably doesn't have time for anything else, right? I doubt he's much of a martial artist." "That's not very nice to assume things like that. It takes a lot of talent to control a battle mech. You need precise coordination even to get the mech moving." Wanting to stand up for Sen, Mila jumped in. "Well, Sen is an archery program for Blackhawk Academy. I don't think he's quite on your level just yet, Priya, but he's fantastic." The cruel look flashed in Priya's eyes. "Archery, you say? Maybe we need to have a little competition." Tired of having Priya trying to dig into his personal life, Sen shrugged off Mila's compliment. "Mila's just being kind. My archery skills aren't anything extraordinary." "Nonsense. If Mila says they're phenomenal, then I believe it. Why don't we see who can strike down the most amount of beasts?" Rivera laughed. "You shouldn't embarrass yourself, Miss Harlow. This is clearly a guy who only has time for battle mechs. Why would he be investing himself in archery? If you want a competition, why don't you and I compete? You'd get a more fulfilling challenge out of that." Mila scoffed. "You should really see him sometime. He'd be saying something entirely different." Sen laughed. "Don't worry, Mila. I bet Paolo is probably pretty talented on his own." Confused as to why Sen stopped him, Mila looked at Sen only to find him shaking his head. The corner of her lips started to twitch. It seemed that Sen wanted to keep things under wraps for the moment. Eager to see Sen's skills, Priya snapped at Rivera. "Paolo, you're such a pig. How could you say he's not a worthy opponent? Do you really think the Rowans would allow Mila to go alone with him in such a dangerous place? If he wasn't skilled, what do you take her family for?" Rivera cowered. "I'm sorry, Miss Harlow. I didn't mean to say he wasn't talented. I don't want you wasting your time on someone who doesn't deserve your attention." As Priya tore into Rivera, Sen's eyes drifted towards the sky. In the sky, keeping their distance away, Sen could see two black specks floating in the air. The quilled apes were back. However, instead of attacking, they just hovered in the air, watching the four warriors. A chill ran down his spine. Sen pulled on the reins of his mount. "We should start making our way back." With a smug look, Rivera scoffed. "So soon? We were just getting started." Following Sen's gaze, Priya looked at the two quilled apes circling in the distance. "Are you worried about the quilled apes? Do you think they're going to attack us?" Sen nodded. "I'm not sure. The entire time Mila and I rode through the desert, those beasts were everywhere. This is the first two that I've seen in a long time. I'm worried that the flock might return." Rivera laughed. "You worry too much, Mr. Hahn. Do you really think they're smart enough to plan an attack? If they try anything, I'll make sure to keep you safe and kill as many of them as I can." Sen nodded, but inside he wasn't so sure. He had the terrible feeling that they were in grave danger. "Mila, we really should get going," Sen said as he watched the two quilled apes turn into four, and as four turned into 8. After Rivera had dismissed Sen's concerns about the quilled apes, the four had continued their hunt. For the first time since they started, Mila had finally been able to kill a mutant creature before Priya and Rivera could. Standing over the body of a recently killed mutant sand snake, Mila frowned. "Are you sure? Can't I cook this snake before we go? I need the Geno points." Summoning his mount, Sen shook his head. "We should leave now before more quilled apes show up. If they catch us out here, we're going to be totally exposed." Curious, Priya Harlow, the daughter of a wealthy businessman and close family friend of Mila, glanced at the quilled apes that were still nothing more than specks in the distance. "Do we really need to leave so soon? There's only a handful of them. Even when me and my men were attacked, we saw them coming with more than enough time to arrange ourselves." Her self-appointed bodyguard, Paolo Rivera, laughed. "Yeah, Sen, there's nothing to be scared of. If anything, we might be facing a mutant beast or two. That'll just mean a sweeter reward when I kill them." Doing his best to ignore Rivera, Sen watched as the flock quickly doubled in size and became a small cloud, flying towards them in the desert. Seeing the flock made Sen's stomach lurch. The way they moved was like the sand foxes when he first came to the Devil Desert. If the Sacred Blood Fox King could control a group of sand foxes, just what could a Sacred Blood Quilled Ape order his troops to do? His eyes darted to Mila, who looked at him concerned. For the first time in a long time, there was something more important than Geno points or Sacred Blood weapons to Sen. He had to make sure that Mila made it back in one piece. After all, he was the one who brought her, and it was his responsibility that she made it back unharmed. Without looking away from Mila, Sen climbed onto his mount. "We can't take any chances. We need to leave before it's too late." Seeing how serious Sen was, Mila wiped her bloody daggers against her pants. "Come on, Priya, we should go with Sen. If we end up getting caught by those beasts, it'll be better if we stick together. Besides, our ride back to the Steel Armor Shelter will give me the perfect chance to ask you all about Central Alliance Military Academy." With a curious glance at Sen, Priya summoned her own mount. "Oh, I'd love to tell you all about it. Come now, Paolo, let's head back." Annoyed by his lost opportunity to show off, Rivera muttered under his breath just loud enough for Sen to hear. There's only a few quilled apes. The supposed archery champion is nothing more than a scaredy cat. Rolling his eyes, Sen kicked his heels into his mount and moved next to Mila and her big white bear. He wasn't going to let anyone goad him into putting his charge in danger. As everyone idly climbed on their mounts, Priya and Mila continued to chat idly about school. With a sigh, Priya rolled her eyes. You'd be surprised by how horrifying the food is at this school. Multiple times I've gone to the school board complaining about the quality of caviar at Centro. They have the nerve to serve us lumpfish instead of sturgeon. Can you believe it? Mila laughed. I think that's only a problem you'd have at Central Alliance Military Academy. Sen sneered. Please focus on getting out of here. You can talk about fish eggs all you want once we're out of the desert. Rivera scoffed. Sure, whatever you say, boss. Ignoring Rivera, Sen urged everyone to mount their beasts. As the last one got on their mount, Sen looked at the approaching cloud only to see it was quickly growing. His stomach starting to lurch, Sen kicked his heels into his mount. Ride as fast as you can. Racing as fast as he could, Sen shouted at his companions as they closed in behind him. Let's go. We need to create some distance between us. Kick it into gear. Sweat started to drip down her forehead as Mila urged her mount forward. She glanced behind her, only to see the cloud fast approaching. Tightly gripping the reins of her beast, she called out to Sen. Was there always that many? Where did they all come from? But Sen was too busy looking ahead. Another large flock was fast approaching them from the other side. He quickly pivoted his mount and started veering towards some canyons in the distance. If they were going to get caught by these creatures, maybe they could escape into the caves on the side of the cliffs. However, as they pushed toward the canyon, the sky quickly started to darken. Rivera's voice cracked as he tried to laugh off his concern. When did it get so dark? Were we expecting rain? Sen glanced up in the sky, and his eyes widened. The sun had been entirely blotted out by a band of 1,000 quilled apes, snarling and flashing their dagger-like teeth at the four companions. Even from below, Sen could see the silver manes of dozens of mutant apes. There were nearly 10 times as many quilled apes as Priya and her men had faced. From the sea of black feathers, Sen heard a familiar guttural roar. The quilled apes scattered, allowing what Sen thought was the sun to break through. However, as Sen looked closer, he realized it had red fur. Brooding over the four, a massive, 9-foot-tall gorilla with wings that stretched as far as Sen could see them, stared down its newest prey with bloodthirsty eyes. Glancing at the beast, Priya choked as she cried out, It's a sacred blood beast! The Ape King roared at the four riders as they sprinted across the desert. He bellowed again, and a squad of quilled apes darted for the riders. Like soldiers following the orders of their commander, the primitive and mutant quilled apes dispatched in groups, ready to begin their barrage against the humans who had killed dozens of their own. Seeing the quilled apes fast approaching, Sen leapt from his mount and onto Mila's white bear as it continued to charge across the sand. Turning to face the quilled beast, Sen urged Mila to keep riding. Head southwest towards the canyon. We need to get to the cliffs. Without question, Mila dug her heels into her white bear mount and demanded it move faster. As Mila rode at full speed, Sen summoned his horn bow and his mutant black stinger arrow. Sitting with his back to Mila, he drew his bow and started aiming at the beasts chasing after them, ready to shoot the moment they got too close. With a grim face, Rivera scowled as he looked at the king ape. You can't hit it from down here. You need to go up. Summoning his white wings, his soul armor, and a pair of beast soul knives, Rivera flew straight into the sky towards the quilled apes. The slender man popped against the sea of black as he daintily dodged the lunging quilled apes. He almost laughed at how easy it was to miss their attacks. Did Sen think this was going to be a problem? Spotting the flash of white as it soared towards the Ape King, Priya hissed, What are you doing, you idiot? There's too many of them! Just watch what a real hero can do, Priya, Rivera shouted as he dived into the swarm. Priya's eyes darted toward Sen. Although she had been traveling with Rivera much longer, Sen had immediately reacted to the situation. Instead of trying to show off, he knew the best way to protect Mila and keep the beasts at bay. If she was going to survive this fight, she knew she needed someone like Sen who knew how to read a battle. Urging her mount to chase after Sen, Priya summoned her own beast soul bow and arrows. While trying to control her mount, Priya aimed her weapon at the beasts, striking them down before they got anywhere near them. Despite juggling the reins and the bow, Priya never missed her shot. Mutant and primitive quilled apes fell the moment they drew near. Even Sen was impressed by her skills. As she rode alongside Mila's white bear, she was even managing to shoot multiple arrows at a time. With one shot, Priya managed to shoot 7 beast soul arrows all at once, killing 7 quilled apes in one hit. From above, Sen could hear Rivera laughing as he slashed at the quilled apes before him. "See, they're nothing. Aim for the Ape King. Don't be upset if I get the sacred blood beast soul first. Ah!" Rivera cried out. Pulling at his wings, the quilled apes ripped tuftfuls of feathers, hollering and screaming as they clung onto Rivera. Desperately trying to get from them, Rivera tried to recall his wings